Well, I remember about the early days, and I did start going to union meetings. I wanted to be active in the union. I remember going, and they were knockdown, drag-out sort of screaming matches. This was the middle, late 70s. It continued into the early 80s. But, I mean, I say screaming matches, but we were demanding democracy, the right to be heard. Not just, when I say we, I think a lot of the minority men were standing up at the microphone talking about why aren't we getting jobs, why are we the ones getting laid off first, you know, challenging our leadership. Not just the men, but minority women, and then some of us newer women were watching this process and learning about the union. And the union was very divisive at that time. Our leaders would bang the gavel and said, "Sit down and shut up," basically. And that went on for a long, long time. And I think, and I don't know if other unions were like that at that time or not, but even when the racial tensions eased a little bit, it was sort of the same kind of behavior. You would get the naysayers up the mic, and if we weren't attacking each other, we would be attacking the leadership. And that went on for quite a while, and then I think it started to change in the late 80s, early 90s with new leadership as business managers, with let's have an open forum, but let's be civil with one another. Our old union hall used to have a bar attached to, right in the union hall. I think that contributed to the rowdiness at some of the union meetings.
Golfers or a different place?
No, it was called the Kilowatt.
The Kilowatt, all right.
It was in the IBEW hall, the Kilowatt, and we'd all go in there and have a few drinks and go to the union meeting, and we'd either be really, really friendly or get put out with each other. Oh, but there were good things too. I mean, a lot of good things did happen at the union meetings, but I think it was a struggle that had to be waged at that point. And there were a lot more people would come at that point. I remember 100, 150. Normally, the union hall was totally full. It wasn't like 20 or 30 people. So there was exciting times, but could be brutal as well, verbally.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a lot of swearing? Or?
Well, you would get kicked out for too much swearing, but it was, you know, people bringing up subjects that are hard to deal with, you know. We still have racism on the job. We still have sexism on the job. And members would say, "Sit down and shut up. We don't want to hear about that." And, you know, why can't we have a minority caucus in our union? That was an issue. We wanted to have a women caucus. A number of us women went to the business manager at the time and said, "We want to start a women's caucus here." "Oh, you can't do that. You have to get approval from our international." Well, we tried to go to the international. They wouldn't approve it. We could not have a women's caucus. Believe me, the international said no. This was in, I would say, the late 70s or early 80s. We were totally turned down. They were so fearful. "Oh, no, you can't have that. It's divisive. You can't have that." You know, the IBEW doesn't have separate caucuses. We do now, but we didn't then.